So we got us a little housewarming and everything. We got friends and family coming over. We get to see how they interact with each other's friends and family as they commingle. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. I am your girl Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach, and we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season number 11, episode number 8. You can get out of this. Girl, no, you can get out of this. Like, you the one ain't happy. If it's your first time here, welcome. Come on in, take your shoes off, relax. Get to know me a little bit by hitting the subscribe button, browsing all the catalog, child, clicking the notification bell, sharing it with your friends, because we are now family. That you hit the red button, right? The red one, you know, and give me a thumbs up. Share, like. Let's get right into this thing, shall we? So if you're new here, I go couple by couple, and this week we are going to start off with Olivia and Brett. Yes, we are. So remember now, we're coming off the heels of Pastor Cal last week stirring the pot, asking them about their financials. Brett saying she don't budget and she frivolous. She's saying he ain't got no money and he can't do nothing. So how this supposed to work? Like, they was throwing jabs left and right, blows left and right. Let's see how they got it together. So we see Olivia meet her friend Rachel for brunch. Olivia shares with her how the honeymoon went, how they had their first argument about budgeting and money with Pastor Cal last week, and then of course how there was that tiff about the rating system of rating your marriage and how he didn't want to do it because it was dehumanizing. She's a little irritated because he's not giving a little leeway. She wants more. She wanted a person that she could marry, that which she would be able to do entertaining things with. All they do right now is go home and sit down with the cats. Like, that's not what she wanted to do. I got married so that we can go and do things together. She had an idea of what marriage would look like for her. I mean, I think that the majority of us have an idea of what marriage would look like before you got married. Then you get married and you find out it's not what it's cracked up to be, specifically because these are two strangers. He has a specific idea and she has one, and they need to come to some type of agreement, and they need to do it fast. She was like, I just don't want to be told where and when I can spend my money. It's my money. I work hard for my money. I think that we all can understand that. Hence the reason I gave my scenario of if I'm ever married again, we're going to have 4 accounts. My personal account that I get to do what I want with. His personal account that he gets to do what he wants to do with. The house checking account and the house savings account. And the house checking account is for household bills. The savings account is for us to save for a nest egg or to buy income property. Or even if we're saving to go on a trip. Or less, and we can negotiate to contribute another extra $100, $200 for that specific thing as we go along. But you have to have that autonomy, because you ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna do with my money either, as long as everything else is in a row. The ducks are in a row. And on the flip side, Brett is having a conversation with his homeboy, who I done forgot what his name was, and he's kind of saying the same thing. He said that Pastor Cal came and stirred the pot, and he vocalized that she doesn't know what a budget is. I thought, if y'all still together and y'all watching this together, this is not good. If y'all not together and y'all watching this separate, this is not good. Y'all cursing each other out, and at the reunion gonna have stuff to say. He said that they kind of like could be considered red flags. He said that he wants to build wealth while she wants to buy expensive things and purchase stuff off of QVC. Oh, that was a jab. Like, is that what she does? Does she buy stuff off of QVC? Sometimes QVC has good stuff. But nevertheless, is that really how you feel about me? And on top of that, you gonna say it out loud? I don't like it. I wrote down that during the process the selection process, they should probably ask more financial questions. And ask questions such as, could you be with someone who makes more or less money than you? How do you handle your finances? What do you expect when you get married? Like, they could at least set you up to have a better understanding about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you frivolous? Are you frugal? Do you make a budget? How strict is your budget? Because he does say that she has a budget, but it's just kind of like willy-nilly. It's her money. It's just been her. Find some common ground. So I was glad to see later when they were back at the house and he was cooking for her some good old steak and looked like some asparagus, that they, you know, he said, do you have 20 minutes to talk? And that they actually went over the budgets and the sheets that they talked about in when the fellas had met up, which we'll talk about shortly. But I was glad to see that they actually sat down, that she was actually open, that she did have like exact numbers. I was kind of surprised at her $500 a month eating out bill myself. But because she's a single woman, you know, she budgets that in, and she's all like, well, you know what, I guess I can break that down some now because I have you to cook for me. So we can use that towards our entertainment budget, and maybe we can go to the zoo, and maybe we can go bowling, and our bowling name is gonna be Alley Cats, is what he said, which is cute because, you know, it's a pun against bowling and against their cat. So that was kind of cute, and I was glad that they had the opportunity to sit down and talk finances, because that's going to help them in the long run, and it actually seemed to loosen them up a bit as it related to one another. So then we get to the housewarming, and her friends come and his friends and family come, and I have a question for y'all, because I looked at their little taco shells, right? And as a black woman, I don't buy pre-made taco shells. I fry my shells, or I warm them up. If I'm doing authentic tacos, if I'm doing black people tacos, it's the fried shell, right? Or I, you know, warm the tortilla. Depends. So y'all let me know down below in the comments, do you buy the packaged taco shells? Am I not giving them a fair chance? Because I was looking at them like, I don't eat that, and I would have just had me a taco salad, because I don't eat that. I don't eat that. Well, they started off playing Jenga as their game and moved to Would You Rather. And their Would You Rather was not as set up as one of the other couples, which was Henry and Christina, which I loved how they did theirs. However, between Jenga and Would You Rather, I thought it was going to be a problem. The way he brought down that beer, I thought he is about to become his obnoxious drunk self. You know, he's a good guy to me. I like him. Except for he doesn't budge in his thoughts. But I think that once he gets some alcohol in him, he kind of changes a little bit. Gets a little more rude and obnoxious. One of the girlfriends, his homegirl, or was it hers, asked, would you rather do starfish or doggy style? And I'm all like, starfish? What is starfish? Dead fish is what she meant. Like lay on the bottom, missionary, no movement, or doggy style. She was like, I prefer doggy style. I was like, okay, come on and show that you got a little something happening with you, okay, Olivia? However, listen, even in missionary, you should be moving around, ladies. You should not be lying there like a dead fish. So you see Heather talking to the little, hey, it's Auntie Heather, to the cat, and just going to the room. First off, I was like, who is this just walking into the bedroom? Come to find out that's her friend. That's Heather, who she talked to all the time. Y'all remember when she said she talked to Heather all the time? That's Heather, who she hang out with all the time. And as she's sitting talking to Heather, she started talking about how they needed to do more than just sitting in the house. This is when she said it. She didn't say it with Rachel. Or did she say it with Rachel too? Anyway, she needed to do more than just be a homebody, because she wanted a husband to get out and have a good time. In addition, though, they needed to have the tough conversation about next not only finances, but of course where they're going to live, because of course he saw her as frivolous when that's not the case, and she doesn't want to. She says she feels obligated to move into his house because he owns it, but it's not convenient because it's 45 minutes away. Definitely a conversation that they need to be having. Definitely needs to be addressed immediately. Like I said last time, both of them want them to go to their homes. he owns his. So the likelihood if you're moving somewhere, it would be his because he's building equity. He is building wealth, right? With owning his own home. But more importantly, maybe the option is for you guys to move to somewhere together, somewhere in the middle for the both of you that is yours together versus feeling like, well, this is your place. It's not what I would have chose. It doesn't feel like home for me. You know, all of those things have to be considered. I also feel like they both could compromise a little more in the way that they think. Like with the budget, listen, you now have someone else with you, Brett, so consider that and don't have such a strict budget. You know, maybe have some things and figure out how now you're both are contributing, right? And then as for Olivia, understand why he is so frivolous. He does not make a lot of money and he wants to maximize his dollars so that he can build generational wealth for your children. Think about that too. Like, I really think they need to get outside of themselves and think about that a little bit. I'm gonna try not to make this long, but it seems like I stayed on them a little too long. Let's see what we can do from here on. Okay, so let's move forward to our favorite couple. One of our favorite couples, our most favorite couple, whichever category you fall into, AMANI and Woody. They always make my heart sing. I think it's lady time again because my eyes started swelling up with tears when I saw them together with their families. But let me not get too far ahead of myself. So Woody, they wake up in the morning and Woody's like, I'm about to go make you some breakfast, honey. They get mimosas, okay? I'm all like, come on, Woody. I ain't had nobody make me breakfast in a long time. My husband was the last person to wake up, and I woke up with and made me some breakfast, other than my kids, of course, right? He pulled out the little roses out the refrigerator, and I was like, come on. I am a girl that loves flowers, I tell you. You know, and he told her, you make it easy to be loving and to be sweet. I really, really like you. Like, almost I damn near love you. And I just want to know, are we going to see them have tough conversations? It looks like we might, coming up in this next episode, might be some things that are starting to come to the surface because he is head over heels for her too fast. I'm getting beside myself. They too have a taco party, and the tacos are done like I would think that they would be done, like with tortilla shells, the real kind. Okay, if you're not making your own masa, fine, buy the corn tortilla or flour tortilla from the store, but please, I just have a thing about those tortilla shells that's pre-made. Talk about a housewarming. I like that. I thought, and he was like, I don't get it. I'm sure he was just playing. Well, the friends come over for the housewarming, and Woody's friend John says that he really sees that he is taking this whole married at first sight experiment kind of thing seriously. Like, he is all in it, and he's proud of it because he didn't know how it was going to work out. Knowing him from being single Woody to now, he sees that he's taking it seriously and that he really likes this girl. Like, okay, I see you. And it is great to know that we aren't just misinterpreting what we see. That in the moment, his friends who know you better than anybody can tell whether or not you are genuinely, authentically in that relationship. And I did not feel like John was lying to us, because it's the vibe that we get. We get that he likes her. We get that he wants this to work. So for their game, they play Never Have I Ever. Okay, and the Never Have I Ever is focused on AMANI and Woody. Each of them have 5 fingers up, and every time you've done something, you put a finger down, and whoever loses their fingers first, has no finger standing first, has to give the other a treat. Woody wants a spa day. All right, Woody, all she wanted was a simple little body massage. You talking about you want to go to the spa. You want to go to the spa, but we should go to the spa. You should go to the spa with your spouse, okay? She would have benefited from that as well. Ultimately, she wins. I was shocked to see that she said she had sex with somebody and ghosted them before. I knew Woody would do it, but that was the one that kind of shocked me, like, what? And it was kind of biased. You know, everybody knew that Woody was a little more advanced. You know, have you ever kissed a girl? Have you ever had a one-night stand? Those kind of questions. The noise in the background of the boys, y'all. They playing PS4 or something. Well, then they split up, the guys and the girls. And Woody's friend, that is his friend John, asks him if he's falling for her, and he was like, yes, I really like my wife, to the point that I almost love. He was like, you know, we just clicked from the beginning, and I wasn't expecting that we clicked so much. And when he said I like her, almost love her, at that point I said he needs to slow down and really get to know her, because right now he is riding on the high of the honeymoon and the great sex and, you know, her being beautiful and them connecting. Now it's time to really get to the nitty-gritty. Like, he needs to slow down just a little bit so that he could see and really get to know her. Though they're having those conversations, they say, I still don't think they're the tough ones, except for that one last week. AMANI is sitting there with the girls, and his cousin is in there, and she says out loud to her, I'm surprised at how well Woody is doing. I wasn't too sure about this at first, because he's single. Woody, you could call at the last minute and go. And how was he going to adjust to that? She said she was no longer worried. Oh, I don't have that much in here for them at all. Also, Woody had made mention, they said, well, you know, talked about the consummation of the wedding and everything. And the other friend was like, was it within 24 hours? And he was like, nah, more like 98 hours. I was like, dude was counting. Kind of cute though. I guess you could think about what time you got married, and then on the day, what day, and kind of do the math. But is he a math guru? Like, what is he? Come on. Like, who does that? Did that seem weird to y'all? It was kind of cute, but kind of cute, kind of weird, kind of, is you always counting how long before you have sex? Like, all that stuff was going through my mind. Like, oh, is that what we doing? Okay, so let's talk A and B, Amelia and Bennett. We see Bennett meet with his friend Miranda. Asks Miranda about, you know, how's it going. He gushes on Amelia a bit, and, you know, says, you know, she asks, well, what is it that she does? And, you know, who is she? Oh, she's a doctor. She's getting ready to do a residency, and I may have to move with her, and I'm really considering it. Miranda didn't seem too happy about that. Miranda probably low-key had a crush on Bennett for quite some time, and was just hoping that he had an opportunity, but opportunity is never going to present itself from here on out. She asked him if this is more of an adventure or real life to you. Listen, and Bennett was like, no, I really like her. Like, yeah, I like her, and I'm going to have to determine whether or not I want to go with her, because she's got to make the decision in 2.5 weeks, which means we'll see the decision that is made while she is, while we are live at Married at First Sight. So that's good, or pre-recorded or whatever. We'll know. What's your prediction? You think she going out of New Orleans, or she's staying? I'm still gonna go with she's staying. She's gonna end up getting a residency there or here, because I feel like it's just gonna work out for her, and she's gonna start speaking that into existence and watch it manifest itself. So we see Amelia talking to Sydney, and she voices a little bit of concern, saying, you know, because Sydney asked, well, is he going to move? If you move, is he gonna go? Is he coming? And she said, well, you know, he has roots here. It concerns me. He has roots here. His family is here. His college friends are here. You know, and the theater stuff is here. So, you know, she's a little concerned by it. I can't remember how they ended that conversation, but the next thing I know, we was at the housewarming, child. And I thought it was cute that their activity for their friends was to paint a mural that they could put up in the house. I think in real life, if they had owned the house, or if they were renting the house, they probably would have painted the wall the color of the mural. I'm gonna keep it a band. They would have moved the couch out the way, and they would have been painting exactly on the wall. I know y'all see that. I know y'all see that to be true, but because it's corporate housing, thank you, boo, for letting me know, they can't do that. Nevertheless, the friends come over. They have vegan lo mein so that they can eat, that they bought. I was like, okay, so neither one of them cooks, so they'll be ordering food all the time and eating leftovers, which is cool. Bennett takes the fellas outside on the porch so that the ladies can start with the mural or whatever and have some private talking time. And the way he gushes over her, even though, you know, they just met, he says all the kind things, that she's generous and that she's kind and she's gracious. She's a great talker, a great listener. And I just was like, he's just good. Hello, could somebody, could you please think that way about me? Think I'm I'm generous and I'm kind and compassionate. Like, those are words that I would use to describe me. I'm a good listener. Like, I was moved by that. Like, and you could feel the authenticity, the genuineness behind the words that he was saying. I was like, okay, Bennett, we know it to be true because we can see it in their interaction, and that's how he truly feels about her. So as Louis is listening, he tells him, well, I hope Amelia feels the same way. I'll let you know if she doesn't. I thought that Louis was his friend, missed it. Louis was actually Amelia's friend, and goes and speaks to her in the bedroom. And like, their whole house feels like them. Like that whole eclectic, whole boho chic kind of feel. Like, I love it. He goes and tells her, I like Bennett, and when he talked about you, you could tell that it's really truly hot. And that his conversation had an authentic approach. And that it felt real. Like, and she was like, I like him. Like, I like him. This is his blanket. And Louis, oh, I thought that was your blanket. I thought it was hers too. They fit, they match. They have the same thought process. They, maybe not all the way the same, but enough to have enough similarities to understand that we need to communicate and that we are free spirits. So that's always important. Louis says, shoot, maybe this is the way to go. Maybe we all just need the experts to match us up. I looked at the mural, thank you, Royal. And I thought, oh, that looks nice, and it goes in their house. It fits their theme. It fits their personality. I don't know if y'all would do that, but I might do it like in a den. I mean, when you got a certain aesthetic, you can't do that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's talk Miles and Karen. We see that they are open, that Karen is opening up a little more this episode, which is exciting, and it is nice to hear, and I'm so glad about it. Like, she's relaxing a little bit and allowing herself to get to know him and expressing herself. Because when they sit down and they talk, Miles lets her know that he needs to know how she feels about him. Like, he needs words of affirmation. You're doing a good job. You look handsome. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Whatever it is that people with words of affirmation need. He needs those. And he needs her to be vocal about it, because that helps him to continue. And it's so important, if you know somebody's love language, though it may not be yours, you need to speak to them in theirs, right? So if mine is quality time, you saying, babe, I want to take you to dinner, I'm going to feel loved. I'm going to feel wanted. So quality time is huge for me. She mentions to him that, she's not really great at expressing herself. So I'm like, well, how do you communicate your needs if you're not great at expressing yourself? Because it seems like all your no's have been you expressing yourself. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, because she's been expressing what she ain't going to do for a long time now. But she says, I'm going to work on it. It's hard, especially for me to open up with men. It's hard, so I'm going to work on it. I don't know if she told him or she told us in the diary cam that she's open to a kiss, but she's not going to initiate it. I feel like that was the diary cam. That she is traditional, and I understand it. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not going to initiate it. I'm not going to initiate the first one. But after the first one is done, after we done been a little intimate, you can count on me to start some initiation. You can count on me to come up on you, run up on you. His ass talking about he patiently waiting for a kiss for 2 weeks. You need to be a little more assertive. If she likes the traditional relationship, then she's used to a man that is a little more assertive than you are being, Miles. And I'm going to just keep it a man. That's just what it is. She needs someone that's going to initiate. At least that's how I see it. Do y'all see it differently? Let me know down below in the comments. Because a woman, even a woman who is very assertive, who takes control, enjoys a man that will take control. Like, okay, yeah, I like that he lets me be in charge, but she likes also that he takes control. A lot of times it's in the bedroom. A lot of times it's with intimacy. I let you run everything else, but you could be all in control in the bedroom. I'm just telling you. When the housewarming happened, she cooked all the meals. He eating a little bit of shrimp. Felicia, her friend, arrived first. Felicia asked Karen for a tour. She said, oh, Miles will give you one. Miles is like, oh, no. We only got the only tour they got was of the living room. And I think that there's a reason behind that. Maybe she did get a whole tour and they ended up in the living room. I don't know. But maybe it's because of where the lights and all that stuff and the production crew were situated. He asked Felicia, how do I help me out? I'm trying to get her to open up, help me out. And Felicia tells her straight up, she's really reserved. You're gonna get professional Karen. When she said that, I was like, that is exactly who we see. We see professional Karen all the time. We don't see have fun Karen, relax Karen. It is I'm at work Karen, and she does not know how to turn that off. She does not know how to be as reserved as you have to be at work. You know, be a little free-spirited at home. You know, walk around in your booty shorts a couple times. Like, hello, I'm talking to y'all that don't know what to do. You know, you want your man to be more attentive to you. You want to entice him. Give him something to look forward to. What is it that he likes about you? Maybe you're free-spirited all the time and he likes when you're a little reserved. Give him what he wants, what he needs. I'm just telling you what I know to be true, honey. Put on them booty shorts and bend over. I'm just playing, but I'm not. She reminded him that Karen wants a man that's gonna take the lead. Now my question though with Karen is, you want a man to take the lead, but are you going to give it to him? So are you going to allow him to? You want him to take the lead, you like traditional roles, but when he starts making passes at you, or when he starts asserting himself, are you going to pull up and say, wait a minute, this isn't what I want? I feel like that would be who she is. I feel like she is not going to, if he takes the lead, you say that's what you want, then you need to follow in reason. That's just my thoughts. Y'all let me know down below in the comments, because I really feel like she won't. She won't. So now, the sister is, his oldest sister is talking to Karen in the kitchen. And she tells Karen, oh, you're traditional. Like, she could tell right off the top that Karen is traditional. However long they've been there, she had gotten the impression of that. And she says, you know, I am, and he's been so kind and so generous, and I want to see the real him. The sister's really like, almost, because, you know, sisters are harder to impress than mothers. I'm going to just keep it a band. I'm a sister, I know. So, really, you know, she wanted to say, wait a minute, ho, that's my brother. That's who he is. But she was kind, and she said, well, I don't know if that's going to change much, because who you see is who you get. That's really who Miles is. He's a giver. He's generous. And she was like, well, I'm a giver too. And if he's constantly giving and checking on me, etc., then I won't have the time to reciprocate, and I need to be able to do that. So for her, him being so generous and giving, is that what equates to him not being leading? Like, she's used to seeing like her mother do all the generosity and the caring for, and it not being reciprocated. And so for her, does that equate head of household leader? Y'all, this is how my mind is working as I'm watching, as I'm talking to you too right now. It's like, is that how you see leader? Because leaders can be kind and generous and giving. The sister said straight up, you know what, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I'm gonna tell you, that's a good guy. Like, I'm gonna tell you, and I honestly want to be like, if you hurt my brother, I'm gonna fuck you up. That's really what I see in her spirit. But she a nice lady, and that's not what nice ladies do or say. In the diary cam, the sister said, you know, Miles is a lover, and I feel like whoever you put him with, he's still gonna be a lover. You say to him, love this person, and he's gonna put his all into it, and that's just what it is. And he just happened to luck up with Karen because she's beautiful, right? But still needs a lot of healing. I wrote down in my notes, she's a real wife, because the sister's boyfriend, I think his name is Blake, asked, so does she cook? This is the first time you tasted her cooking? He said, nah, she cooks all the time. Homeboy said, what's her favorite meal? When I say, I was like, oh, she's a wife. Because at 12:30, you getting a sandwich or some chips. You getting some leftovers from the day before. He said at 12:35, he said he was hungry at midnight. And that she got up and made blackened fish, roasted potatoes, and green beans. A whole full-on meal because he was hungry at 12:30. Ladies, is that what y'all doing? Is that what we doing now? Let me know down below in the comments, because I'm making a sandwich. Making a good grilled cheese, a good turkey and cheese grill, whatever, grilled turkey and cheese. I'm making something, you know, pulling the leftovers out, heating them up real good. I might make you a little bacon sandwich or something, but I'm not doing a full-on meal. So they play truth or dare as their game. And the only people that have to answer the truth or dares are Karen and Miles. So the first dare was to sit on Miles' lap for the remainder of the game. She did that. She sat there with ease, but you can see that she might have been a little bit uncomfortable because, you know, PDA is not her thing. She ain't used to it. Get used to it, girl. He only been around 2 weeks, but get used to it. The second one was for Miles to smell her armpits. Well, I'm sure he didn't smell her armpits before inadvertently, you know, not intentionally. But he did. He did. And, you know, he's I realize that he might be just a tad bit less mature than she is, but she needs what he is giving her, the fun part, to bring that out, the tickling under the arm, the eating the food when you said not to. She needs that so that it lightens her up, like, because she's so, like, just so strict and reserved. This is gonna be long. It is. We only on the third people in, fourth people in. And then the third one was to kiss Miles on the lips. And she was a little hesitant, you know, like kissing on the lips, but it was a good kiss. And it wasn't their first kiss. We find that out in just a second. I'll tell you about it in just a second. Okay, so let's talk Henry and Christina. Christina is fed up with Henry. Christina is tired of doing everything. Christina feel like Henry is not pulling his weight. I think Henry is back at work and Christina's not. Like, she took some time off and scheduled some stuff around. So she has the availability, right, to do the grocery shopping, for the questions to get to her. Like, she got frustrated, like literally wanted to know, well, what is he gonna do? Why am I responsible for everything? We're getting to see the Christina we know, the bitchy Christina. Like, I get your frustrations, but you need to figure out how to communicate them better than you're doing right now, Christina. You're not doing a good job articulating what your needs are. And though you do speak up, he isn't hearing you because he don't like you, because you impatient, because you high maintenance, because you snappy, because you bitchy. Like, you couldn't say thank you for the groceries and I'm doing everything, I'm initiating everything. And he was like, did you say thank you for the 2 expensive dinners that we went to? I did. And she was like, no, like, he doesn't like her. And he's really trying to put his best foot forward, but he doesn't like her. Period, point blank. To the point where she says, she's so upset that she says, you can get out of this. Because he says, my friends asked me why I'm doing this. And she said, why are you doing this? You can get out of this. He made a commitment. Henry strikes me as someone that is going to continue. Though he made a commitment, he gonna follow through with it. And we can see that Henry, with everybody else, even though he didn't know the fellas that long, you saw how easy he was talking to him. I like Henry. Even though he doesn't give good eye contact, he's some things that he can work on, of course. But I like Henry. I like that he's finally opening up, and we realize that he doesn't like Christina because he don't talk to her. He talking to everybody else, y'all. Let's keep it a band. After sitting and talking with the ladies for a little while, and you know, she comes back, you know, and I'm glad that she decided to do something before their party because it would have been awkward. She apologizes for her outburst. You know, now she feels like she has a better understanding of him, and even though she doesn't do a good job the rest of this episode kind of showing it, right? So when Kristen, Henry's friend, walks in, I thought, oh, her energy is not good. I hope it gets better, and it did. They played Would You Rather. I thought that they had really good Would You Rather questions. Would you rather have sex in 5-minute increments or for 5 hours at a time? Anybody who said 5 hours, did y'all say 5 hours? That's too long. Your little vagina gonna hurt and it's gonna be dry, okay? It ain't enough lube in the world for that, okay? You want to be excited and interested on your own. So that whole little 5-minute little increments, I'm okay with that. I can get what I can get in 5 minutes, and then I get another 5 minutes, and then I get another 5 minutes. Like, I'm okay with that. And because it don't have to be back-to-back 5 minutes, okay? But it can be back-to-back 5 minutes. They asked about, would you rather be with a celebrity and not have good sex, or someone you're not attracted to and have great sex? You know, Chris, which is Christina's friend, was like, you know, the ugly person in good sex. Henry was like, nah, the cute person in bad sex. I was like, that's kind of weird. But you could see that he was opening up. And it was still a little awkward for him because it was, you know, it's too much. Well, she goes and she sits with her friend, his friends. In a nutshell, Kristen said, Henry's slow with everything, at everything, including friendships. It took him a long time to open up. I thought that he was a bore myself, but in actuality, he isn't. Chris asked, you know, well, what did you think when you saw her? He said, oh, I was nervous. I thought she was beautiful. I thought she was pretty tall. And I was excited that I didn't know her. Like, he has more conversation for her friends than he does her. I don't care how many questions she asks, he doesn't have an answer. And they probably sit in that house in 2 separate rooms, okay? Let's keep it a band. They probably do. Chris lets him know, oh, you're in for a ride. He was like, I've already experienced it. He is so turned off by Christina. Only thing that could help Christina now is for them to go their separate ways now and not later. Chris also asked about the chemistry between the two of them and advised. He tells him, you know what, I'm taking this slow. You know, everybody looking at him like slow. Chris pretty much says you need to live in the moment. The other friend, I can't think of his name, the older gentleman, said she told me that she wanted a man that would lead. And right now, that's not who Henry is, you know. Christina also expresses how she needs some affection, that they need to be intimate. Kristen pretty much tells her, well, that's out. That's not how Henry works. Like, he gonna move slow with everything. So a little later, they are at home. She's making some salmon. At least I think that's what that was that she was making. Or some kind of fish. Some dinner for them. Some kind of bowl. Fish bowl. And she forgot the butter. And now all of a sudden she's upset. When she realizes she has no butter and she has no foil. Because she has to do all of the shopping and I can't remember anything. And I was like, oh yeah, I get being frustrated, but she seems to be frustrated and she complains all the time. Like, instead of saying, Henry, tomorrow I'm going to make a list. Henry, can we sit down together? Can we go to the grocery store together? Henry, something like inviting him, being inviting and not so judgmental and high and snobby and impatient and quick-tempered, like, and rude. Like, try and be inviting, but Henry definitely is going to have to do something too. She can't do all the work by herself. So she tries to ask him questions. Tell me something about from your childhood. Give me a childhood memory. And he was like, well, me and my brother get along well, but we fight a lot. And she kind of scoffs. It's like, and that's the memory you want to share? And I'm all like, this is why he doesn't like you, because his answers aren't good enough. They aren't. You feel like they don't fit with the prescription you were looking for. Take what he gives you, because the next thing you know, he might have said, and we used to fight all the time. There was this one time that we were fighting in the house and my dad came home. You don't know what that could have led to. Well, what was your worst fight? You don't know, because you're so quick to scoff and turn off. Well, baby, let me tell you something. He turned around and asked you what your favorite food was that your mother cooked, and you couldn't even answer, I don't know. You sound like you're giving the same answers he's doing. Only thing is, you want more from him and he's accepting you as you are. Girl. Then she gets all frustrated. Can you give us a list of questions? Because I'm not getting anything. And you know, the producer's like, I can't help you with that. You guys make it seem like it's supposed to be an easy flowing conversation, and it's not. I was like, child, it's too much. Henry, cool as a cucumber, probably burning up and boiling in the inside, knows how to handle his emotion and decide, you know what, I need to get up for a little while because this ain't working. He gets up and he leaves, child. He's like, I don't have to fucking do this. I don't have to deal with this. And she's all like, whatever. That's why Christina by herself. Christina is unwavering. Christina does not know how to communicate well with people. Christina needs to do some exercises in healing and in communication. So the couples meet up. The ladies for brunch, the fellas for a pool, lunch. I don't know if they were drinking or not. Miles asked a general question to the fellas, you know, how are we feeling 2 weeks in? You know, Bennett, he's so cool. He said, yeah, we got different tastes in music. You know, she like indie. I like jazz and R&B. I thought to myself, well, that's why he seems so cool to us. When I say us, I mean the black community. How come we like Bennett so much? Because he knows good music. Okay, he's got a little soul. And then Brett brings up, you know, the whole budget thing again. That whole her making a lot more money than him is bothering him more than her not being frugal with her money. But maybe it is like a combination. Talisa, you flip-flopping. Maybe it's a combination of the two things, because he feels like she could do more with her money than do extravagant trips and entertainment. She could have had a house already. Like, in his mind, that's how he sees it. But he says, you know, I'm good at budgeting. She isn't. Like, she's got a good grasp, but not really. And you know, pretty much wants her to like kind of hunker down. And says, you know, if we go on a trip, she's gonna want to stay at a 5-star hotel, but I can't afford that, so we'll be staying at a 2- or 3-star hotel. Listen, I honestly think that if you go somewhere, she's gonna be happy that you go. Now, she is gonna probably bitch and complain about where y'all staying and how she could have contributed money towards it, but it's a start. Because she does have a particular thing, feels kind of particular about certain stuff, wants things done a certain way. But as you can see, that hasn't helped her. She had to get help from the experts, because other men probably, she said she wasn't dating or nothing in 3 years. That's also probably part of the problem. She probably should have been dating so that she could see what real world relationships look like now and know how to interact with people. Some of the stuff, as I'm talking, comes to my mind, y'all. It's not like I just sat and prepped. Some of this stuff hits me right now. Anyway, Brett says, you know what, I'm gonna, you know, show her some profiles and my budgeting spreadsheets and stuff. And so that's how they end up looking at the spreadsheets at the house. When he says, you got a few minutes, she said, well, we gonna do some budgeting. Like, she was being sarcastic, but he was for real. Like, yeah. And it worked out for them. I like that Miles and Woody were like, you know, they best friends, because he was like, slow cooker, slow cooker. Even I was like, slow cooker, slow cooker. That means like ease it in, take your time. It ain't something that you could just throw up there. Woody pretty much said that that Brett needs to just deal with it. Okay, your wife makes more money than you, figure it out. It's just what it is. Now, Henry was very vocal with the fellas about Christina being high maintenance. And this is what I'm talking about. Henry was easy and relaxed and communicative with these fellas. You know, he still had his twerks and wasn't really looking at people in their eyes, but he was able to express how he felt about Christina. It's Christina. He don't want to talk to Christina. He's not interested in talking to her. It's a no. When they started talking about like affection and stuff, the one thing that stood out to me was Henry, because he's funny and he was like, oh, I guess it's my turn. He says, you know what, we're two different people. And Woody lets her know all she wants is for you to knock her down. Like, you know, give it to her real good. That makes him a little uncomfortable. Him as in Henry, a little uncomfortable. But it's true, he probably should hold her hand or rub her shoulders, but that's not part of his personality. And I'm sure they knew, the experts knew when they matched them, that they were not going to make it to the end. They knew it. I know it. Ain't no coming back from now. Ain't no coming back from this now. Well, when the ladies are talking, AMANI is the leader, and she's all like, how are things going with everybody? Amelia, you know, I like Bennett. He has a tiny house. That bitch Christina gonna say, oh, well, one could say that Henry stays in a tiny house too. You don't even have a place to live. That's his space. It's just him. Girl, if y'all had made it further, if y'all make it further than 8 weeks, then you find some place to stay together. But I honestly don't think they're gonna make it past the 8 weeks. She is getting on my nerves. No matter how much she tries to come back from being a bitch, she ends up always getting back to the source. Complaining. Constantly murmuring and complaining. If you're not careful, you're gonna be single like your mother and your grandmother. I said it. Yeah, I said it out loud too. Olivia's over there talking about the budgeting issues that's popping up, you know, but nobody really has much to say. I don't write nothing. I don't know, because I'm over the budgeting issue. Let's move on, okay? Please find some common ground. Thanks. Christina is scared that things are going to remain the same. that she's always going to be the planner and the doer. She needs a switch to come on, because this is a deal breaker. And you know what? We all have deal breakers. As bitchy as Christina is, she knows what she wants. And it's not Henry. It's not what Henry is presenting right now. So why keep causing yourself angst for both of them? If they turn around from here, I'm going to be shocked. I think that they need to see Dr. Pepper. Okay, I'm waiting on Dr. Pepper to show up. Come on and talk to them, Dr. Pepper. I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you know? Or even Dr. Viviana. Like, they need somebody that is going to give them some exercises. And hopefully that starts happening next week. Because something has to break with some of these couples. This one in particular, Olivia and Henry and Karen and Miles. Something has, the levee needs to break for them. AMANI gives her some advice and says it's not natural for him. And so you may have to give him some guidance so that it clicks. And I get where AMANI is coming from. She should have been doing that, because at this point he's turned off and I don't think anything's ever going to click. She's going to just keep getting irritated, like, why am I having to help you do this? You should innately as a man know how to do this stuff. That don't work for everybody. We ain't all raised the same way. On the flip side, you got Amelia and Karen outside talking. And Karen lets it be known that she kissed Miles and she's the only one she told. Like, you know, and probably rightfully so, because Amelia put Karen in her place. Maybe he's just a nice guy. Okay, maybe you used to assholes and he's a nice guy. So I can see why she would confide in Amelia because of that exchange, now that they are now friends, right? Y'all, let me know what you think about this episode down below in the comments. Listen, who's gonna make it? I'm still with Amelia and Bennett. I'm still with AMANI and Woody. I'm actually at a yes for Karen and Miles, but that is as of today. When I see the next episode, when I saw the snippets, I was like, eh. So we just gonna keep it as a yes for now. No to Olivia and Brett, and no to Henry and Christina. Period, point blank. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season number 11, episode number 8. First time here, you should click the subscribe button. You should become a ray of sunshine. You should also, everybody, click the notification bell. Everybody should be sharing with their friends and family, especially those of us who like Married at First Sight. Last but not least, definitely, if you're here, give me a thumbs up because you like me and I'll know it's real. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.